Welcome to the July 18th, 2024 regular meeting of the Transportation Commission. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Commissioner Ash,
Here.
Commissioner Creeling,
Here.
Commissioner Patch,
Here.
Youth Commissioner Yao is absent, Vice Chair Cagle is absent, and Chair Reese is also absent.
And with the absence of the chair and the vice chair as the most senior member, I am acting as chair tonight. Public communications. This portion of the meeting is reserved for comment on items not on the agenda under the Brown Act. The commission cannot act. Do we have any public members here? Okay. On items raised during public communication, but may respond briefly to statements made or questions posed. Request clarification or refer the item to staff. At this time, I will open this item up for public comment. Do we have any members of the public wishing to comment specifically on items not on the agenda?
We do not.
Okay. Nope, skipped. I'm out of practice after one meeting. Next on the agenda is the adoption of the May 16th, 2024 meeting minutes. Do I have a motion for the approval of the minutes from the May 16th commission meeting?
Go for it.
I move we approve the minutes of May 16.
Second.
Great. Would the secretary please call the roll?
Commissioner Ash,
Yes.
Commissioner Creeling,
Aye.
Commissioner Patch.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Next on the agenda is an item for commission consideration, daylighting law AB 413. Walnut Creek at this time, I will invite staff to provide their presentation.
Good evening, commissioners. So my name is Brianna Byrne. I am one of the associate traffic engineers here at the City of Walnut Creek. And this evening, I'm going to be covering the Daylighting Assembly Bill, AB 413. This presentation is primarily informational. There are a couple items that I will be seeking some input for, and I'll make sure to point them out as I go through it. So quick overview, daylighting. As traffic engineers, we like to make up terms. So what exactly is this? We'll go over the text of AB 413 and break it down into parts. One of the parts being marked versus unmarked crosswalks, and then the implementation and outreach to date along with next steps. So what is daylighting? So daylighting is the idea of making intersection more visible. So it's the concept that safety is improved by removing parked cars or other obstacles approaching a crosswalk. So in this graphic, on the left, we have parked cars right up to a crosswalk, people crossing in both directions, and this approaching vehicle, the line of sight is obstructed between the ped and the driver because of the parked vehicles. On the right side, where we have a red curb and no parked vehicles, the line of sight is open. So the actual AB 413 bill text says, a person shall not stop, park, or leave standing any vehicle, whether attended or unattended, in any of the following places. Within 20 feet of the vehicle approach side of any marked or unmarked crosswalk, or within 15 feet of any crosswalk where a curb extension is present. So this text amended section 22-500 of the California Vehicle Code. As you can see, this is item N. There's many other areas that are prohibited for parking. This is just an additional one. There is a couple caveats at the bottom. So until January 1st of next year, only warnings can be issued for violations. Unless the person parked, say, where there is a red curb or a no parking sign already in place. And then the other one is that there is a deviation allowed for, say, a different distance than 20 and 15, but it must be justified through traffic safety engineering standards. So breaking down the text of the bill, what is a marked crosswalk? So on the left here, we have a 4-leg intersection of Shadelands Drive and North Wicket Lane in the Shadelands area. It's stop controlled, marked crosswalks, kind of what we think when we think crosswalks. And then on the right side, we have what we would call, say, a T intersection. Also on Wicket Lane, but further south on Cedro Lane. This is a school crosswalk, so you can see we have yellow crosswalk, yellow striping, and some curb extensions that were kind of mentioned in that bill. So taking into the text, 20 feet where there is no curb extension and 15 where there is, approaching a crosswalk. So on the left, what we have here is roughly those 20 feet marked out. At this location, we already have red curb a little bit more in advance, but as you can kind of see, even if there weren't red curb, not a lot of these locations make sense for parking intuitively from a driver education perspective. And then on the right side, this T intersection, again, approaching a crosswalk. In this case, we have the curb extensions. So we have instead 15 feet. Again, it's relatively close to the crosswalk, but as you can see, coming southbound, the approach direction has 2 crosswalks. So there's 15 feet in advance of the first one and 15 feet in advance of the second. At this location, it's in an intersection. There's no need to further restrict parking. It's a travel lane. There's no parking here anyway. So then we get into unmarked crosswalk. So technically, whenever 2 roads intersect, there are crosswalks at that intersection. There's marked and unmarked. So what we have here on the left-hand side is a typical residential street with unmarked crosswalks. On the right side, we imagine as if those same striped crosswalks are applied at this location and apply that same width. We now have areas where parking is not permitted or parking is prohibited. So again, walking through this is currently has no striping. Maybe coming from left to right, it doesn't really make sense to park here. The curvature of that corner starts similarly with coming from top to bottom, but it's that T side of the intersection where that's a lot of curb space that was previously used as parking, that under this AB 413, parking is now prohibited. So as we've been rolling this out, these are a couple of common questions we've been receiving. One, I mentioned, when 2 streets intersection, there's crosswalks. Does this apply to courts and cul-de-sacs? Yes. They intersect, there's crosswalks. Does this apply to an alley? Not entirely. In Walnut Creek, we have commercial lane. That's really where we have an alley. It does not entirely apply to the alley. It does not apply to across the street. When if you're walking across and you have to cross the alleyway, that part's a crosswalk, but not across the major component. And that's because of the California Vehicle Code definition of what a crosswalk is. And then lastly, will red curb be added to every intersection in the city of Walnut Creek? The answer is no. We will not be adding red curb to every intersection, and we'll kind of go through why. But as I mentioned, there are other prohibited parking areas in the California Vehicle Code, 22500, that are they're understood by drivers and do not necessarily require red curb for compliance. The 3 kind of major ones that a lot of drivers know: do not block driveways, do not park in front of a fire hydrant, do not park, within the intersection along the curve. Those are all areas that we in traffic engineering, we don't necessarily stripe the curb red unless there's a compliance issue. So installing that red curb further emphasizes the prohibited parking area. Here are some photos from around Walnut Creek where we do have this red curb. This neighborhood, the parking demand is extreme. These were necessary to get those parking areas cleared. So by installing and maintaining red curbs citywide, this would be a substantial burden, both on the city's traffic maintenance team, who both installs and maintains, but also asset management funding. So as we've been rolling this out, we've been taking the priority here is traffic safety. AB 413, it's about traffic safety, where we're putting this red curb to make sure that no one's parking here. There are areas where there's known to be many pedestrians, bicyclists. We use the term vulnerable roadway users. These are those individuals that aren't protected by a vehicle if a collision were to happen, and they have the higher chance of injury or fatality. So the areas where we have completed our review and the red curb installation includes downtown Walnut Creek, and then all of our trail crossings, the Contra Costa Canal, Iron Horse, Ignacio Canal Trail. Each one of those have that, the daylighting, the 20 feet clear. And the next section that we're currently involved with includes all the areas around schools. And what we're reviewing there is, we call it the walk shed. It's the quarter-mile distance where a pedestrian would more likely be walking. And then if, there's a known walking route that's a little bit further outside of that, we'd look into that as well. Other prioritized locations that we're looking at are community spaces, parks, pools, community centers, senior centers, libraries. And it's this item where if the commission can think of maybe other uses where there could be those walking and biking that we should do a thorough review of as well. So outreach. When we have identified a location to receive red curb, we send them a letter. This is pretty typical for staff. The letter doesn't always get received, and so there's an additional challenge there. And so this is another item that we're looking into or looking for feedback on. We do have door hangers, which we're going to start using, physically be there, hang it on the door, leave the business card, attempt to make contact. But any other ideas we're open to as well. Another more targeted outreach and announcement that we've been doing, we have summer interns, and they're doing a safety audit of sightlines that are intersections citywide. And as part of that, we've instructed them to leave this informational flyer on any vehicle that they see parked here. Again, there's a lot of education here where if we can just let a neighbor know where they shouldn't be parking, then down the line we do not have to go towards any type of red curb installation. And then more general outreach, we set up a daylighting website. That previous flyer points people to this website. This presentation will go on the website. We've created informational posters, and you can see a lot of the same graphics from tonight. And this has been going up, really any type of engagement opportunity we have, as well as City Hall and at a couple of our desks around here. And then the next nutshell will have an article about this as well. So the next steps, we're gonna go through the process, review these areas with the vulnerable roadway users, including, possibly the installation of red curb and this targeted residential outreach. We're gonna continue working with enforcement to identify these areas or locations with compliance issues. We've gotten a preliminary list from them where they anticipate an issue, and so once we get through our priority area, we'll go to those spots as well. Obviously continue this public engagement where we can, and then potential revisions to the Muni Code to include considerations for commercial loading, because that does fall into AB 413 as well. And with that, I have the topics discussed as well as the notes of what I'm seeking input on. And with that, thank you.
Great. Thank you. And as I started writing down questions, you then answered them on like every other slide. So we're going to go to my right with Ms. Patch and see if she has any questions or comments.
I do have some questions and comments. The bill is just for parking and stopping, right? So like other obstructions as defined in daylighting is not covered in this bill. Is that correct?
So it's parking, stopping, or standing of a vehicle. So like, I don't know, like plants or something, like that's not covered in this. Or bike parking is actually an exception to this.
Okay, good clarification. Thank you. So can you go to the unmarked slide? That one, yes. I just want to be clear. If it's two streets intersecting with a straightaway on the one side of it, that still includes the lead up to that intersection.
Correct. So yeah, in this
Okay.
case, that's like the top of the T.
Right. I feel like that's going to be the most confusing one for people to understand because the crosswalks are unmarked and it's not like people don't intuitively think that side of it being the intersection. So has the team thought of any way of like indicating those specifically without having to do a red curb?
So that's where a lot of the education component has come in. Last week, we just did a neighborhood workshop, and this was a very popular flyer that got handed out. But, we're open to it. We could do possibly temporary striping, but yeah, we're really not looking to do red curb.
I totally understand that. Like, don't want to incur that cost. I'm just was wondering because I live in an area that's going to experience that. For the community spaces, one suggestion I have for staff to look into is where people park for BART access that's not in the BART parking lots. So, right, like there's some side streets that are walking distance of both Pleasant Hill and the Walnut Creek BART stations that during the week will have a lot of people parked there and a lot of people walking because they'll be walking from their car to BART and back. So that might be a high traffic area the staff could look into. I live equidistance between the BART stations, so I see it on a consistent basis. And then for the announcements and education piece, two ideas I have are like if we could put questions only. Okay, that's fine. No, that's fine. No, I have one more question. Sorry. The website. This is my digital marketing background coming out. What keywords are the staff using? Because I don't feel like the general public knows the term daylighting in terms of this.
Fair point. So the keywords AB 413 and daylighting.
Okay, maybe there's some other search terms or frequently used generic terms that we could work on getting so that people find the website. Cool, thanks.
Charles.
Thank you. That's a great point from Commissioner Patch on the keywords. And I was glad to hear it was daylighting and not gaslighting. Trying to put some humor into our commission meeting. Okay. On the vehicles that are not supposed to stop or park, does that include motorcycles and like gas scooters and things, or is it really just automobiles and trucks?
It's automobiles and trucks, like of those two deviations, they allow bicycle parking and motorcycle parking within that area.
Okay, great. I think that's an important distinction to put. How about a private road? That is a question.
So this is, the California Vehicle Code. So wherever the California Vehicle Code applies, this law applies.
Okay. Is there anything in the law that talks about the stopping and parking being within a certain distance from the curb? And I have a reason I'm asking that question.
Yes, I know there's you can't be on the sidewalk and then you can't be too far. And I believe they might ticket you under a different code, but that would fall into being in the travel lane.
And that's kind of where my question revolves. So there are some narrower streets where I'm going to stop at the crosswalk to let pedestrians cross, or before turning right or left. And I'd like to know that we wouldn't be giving tickets to people who are stopped because the street's narrow enough. They're not parked, but it almost looks like parking because it's a narrow road. Does that make sense?
Well, I'm definitely in that case of yielding to pedestrian a crosswalk, marked or unmarked, wouldn't be.
Okay, and then I'm gonna, let's see, this will be a comment, so I'll skip. And these are comment suggestions, so I'll skip. Oh, one other question. I really wanted to go to that workshop. I could have walked there, but I had another obligation. How well attended was that?
Of the sign-in sheet, we had 40, but not everyone signed in, so we put it 60 plus,
That's pretty good.
not including the children. We had an activity table as well.
That's pretty good attendance. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I thought of another question. The materials that you have for the public, does it include how they can contact you if they feel like there's a consistent violation in their neighborhood?
So when it comes to violations, we would be sending them to parking enforcement. That would probably be something we wouldn't want to encourage until it actually becomes enforceable.
Okay, I don't have any questions. Do we have any of the members of the public wishing to provide comments specifically to this item? Do we have?
No,
Okay. Do we have any written comment related to this item?
we do not.
Okay. All right, so now we will go to commissioner comments. I'm going to go with Charles first.
Trading off. Okay, I like it. Thanks. So can we put up the slide with that residential three-way intersection, the T intersection? So what I'm worried about is that no one in the next 30 years will remember to not park in those red areas, because typically the homeowner and the homeowner's guest believes, while not true, while it's public property, those are their parking spaces, and many a parking wars get set off when neighbors park in front of other people's homes. The examples you shared were really good, like the fire hydrant. There's a visual there. There's something there. There would be nothing at this intersection that would flag people to think, oh, ooh, I can't park there, right? I'm gonna park in front of your house because I'm coming to visit you for coffee. And I'd hate to see enforcement be the main means of dealing with a residential area, because I think this room will be overflowing at every venue if that's what we do as a city. It's a very long way to getting to, and I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but That's an area where I think we might need red striping. Something to get people to think about, hey, you can't park here. Because there's nothing else that will remind them. At least that's just my opinion.
I'm already gonna like park in a different spot tonight, man. Like, let it go.
But you know about it.
Yeah, transportation commissioners are exempt from not knowing, I guess. On the outreach, I think, repetitive social media broadcasts would be really good. Nextdoor, Facebook, Instagram, etc. Because so many people are on social media. And then the other thing, and it could be a mitigator to maybe doing red in these kind of residential situations, and I don't know if we have such a thing or could have such a thing as temporary signs that can kind of rotate around the neighborhoods. That could be a good way without painting over a period of time to kind of like they put those digital speed signs, but this would be something much less fancy. I think that was it. Thank you.
I second the concerns about the T intersections, just because unmarked T intersections, to be clear, because I think the implied crosswalks are not things that people think about, and particularly the street that's going to be the top of the T is where people park. It's an easy place where they think they're not in the way. So I like the idea of maybe doing signs there, temporary signs, like the little foldable, collapsible signs, for a bit to see if that helps and people don't park there. Maybe testing those out in high trafficked or high impact areas to teach people, because these basically have 2 parking spots that would be eliminated. Also, an idea, Walnut Creek has a lot of car dealerships, and I was wondering if there's maybe a way that the city could work with the dealerships so that as people buy new cars, they get a reminder of the new parking laws. Or you can at least post signs, maybe, at the dealerships. Some sort of partnership with them, I think, would be helpful, because that's a period of time when people are focused on vehicle use and traffic laws. Thanks.
Great feedback and discussion so far. Yeah, and I could say on my street, and I live sort of on one of these T's, I think all 4 of those are regular parking spaces. So, I don't know. That was that comment. On the pools and schools, which you had mentioned, I would just encourage you to outreach to the swim clubs, just so they become aware of it and they can post it on their social media pages. And for the schools, I would reach out to the front office, but I would also reach out to the PTA, because sometimes the PTAs or PTOs, depending on the school, tend to be a little bit more communicative to the parents about that stuff than the front offices are. So I would just encourage those 2 things.
I'll just add, I agree with the underlying premise of the rule, right? If you can see the pedestrians long before you get to the crosswalk, I think you have a better chance of seeing and slowing down. And I know from real world existence where I live, people have no idea that at an unmarked T intersection like this, I've literally have one guy try to get out of his car and fight with me because he had to stop, and I'm like, it's an intersection, it's a crosswalk. People just don't think about unmarked. So that could be actually another positive part of the information campaign, is to remind people that at any intersection, it's considered a crosswalk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much for all your hard work. We know this will take a long time to roll out and continue to make the public aware. We did not have public comment on this, so okay. Sorry. Next on the agenda is an item for commission consideration, transportation capital project update. We will hear for staff for a briefing. Who's up?
All right. Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Alex Wong, Senior Engineer with the Capital Improvement Program. Tonight, I'm going to provide an update to the transportation-related projects in the current capital budget. I'm here with the capital investment team, and they will introduce themselves as they present the projects they're working on. So in the capital budget, the projects are separated into two groups: the asset management projects that preserve the value of the city's existing capital improvements, and discretionary projects where they create new city assets or significant improvements to existing city infrastructure. Asset improvements include the pavement management projects, existing sidewalk improvements, and bridge replacement and rehabilitation projects. Discretionary projects include the pedestrian and bicycle improvements, traffic calming, and school safety projects. So I'll hand it off to Mike.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Mike Hawthorne. I'm an associate engineer, and I will be talking about the Locust Street Rehabilitation Project. This project is one of the final phases of Locust Street, as all the utilities, East Bay Mud, Central Sand, PG&E, have all upgraded all their utilities there. Some of the areas that we are looking at, and not all of them, are pedestrian safety and accessibility, road quality, and green spaces. Our contractor is currently working on Locust Street. We are currently on the southwest corner of Bonanza where they are upgrading the concrete work. We are repairing damaged sidewalk that has been damaged by trees. We are upgrading all our curb ramps so that they are now ADA compliant. We're increasing the width of sidewalk areas where we have existing planters. We're giving back additional width of the sidewalk. We're addressing the new daylighting requirements by allowing for pedestrians to be able to see drivers and vice versa more easily. We'll be repaving the roadway from Civic down to Mount Diablo. That will allow for a smoother drive and improve the quality of the road. And finally, we will be rejuvenating and increasing planter areas. Some of these planter areas will also be stormwater treatment facilities, and we will be replacing trees that we have cut down. So we hope that once we're done with this project, that it will be an area that is more easily walkable for our pedestrians, and it provides a nice location for our businesses and for their patrons who come down to our downtown area. Thank you.
All right, good evening, Commissioners. My name is Andrew McDade. I'm also with CIP. I'm an assistant engineer. This year I've been working on a couple of curb extension projects, the first of which is the Shadelands and Wiggett sidewalk gap closure. This was Brianna's marked crosswalk example, and you could see the bird's eye view of the new sidewalk here, which before this was installed, there was about 425 linear feet of no sidewalk right there. People were walking in the street, probably noticed a semi parked right there often, kind of a problem area. So now we got this nice new sidewalk in here. We're still waiting on the street light. We're not quite done with the project, so that's going to go in where that orange cone is. This also obviously narrows the road widths and the crossing distances. Doesn't really apply. I mean, the daylighting does apply here, but we have red curb all around the new curb, so the daylighting takes effect here, even if it's not totally applicable. And we removed a few parking spaces, and kind of the main reason for this was for drainage improvements. We plan on putting some green infrastructure behind the sidewalk, and in the overall picture, this will tie into the multimodal improvements in the Shadelands area. As you can see, the sidewalk is a little oversized. It's 10 feet wide, and this will allow for a 5-foot pedestrian and bicycle lane in the future. We don't have any plans for that quite yet, but we decided to overbuild this now rather than try to rebuild it in the future when we want to make those improvements. The other area is just over here on Bonanza, right between California and Mount Diablo. The history behind this is we've been doing a lot of undergrounding here, and as part of that, the streetlights were on the joint poles there, and they needed to come down, and we needed to erect new streetlights with new electrical equipment, new communication equipment that you can see in the right photo there. And these created obstructions for pedestrians, so we essentially needed to extend the sidewalk, allow for an accessible path around the equipment and whatnot. Again, we narrowed the road widths, added a new crosswalk where there was a stop bar previously, and again, removed a couple of parking spots at each location just to make room for the curb extensions. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Austin Pato, and I have about 3 projects to present to you tonight that I've been working on. And so the first one is the 2024 arterial overlay on North Wiggett Lane, which has come up that street has come up quite a bit tonight. And so this street we're going to be doing a repavement on North Wiggett Lane from Ignacio Valley Road to Lennon Lane. And so we're going to be milling the existing asphalt and then repaving with new fresh asphalt to give a smoother ride to drivers and pedestrians walking across the crosswalk. And so in addition to the repaving, we're also doing, as shown in the picture on the top there, we are installing a new trail crossing striping there. As you can see, there's the little green in the middle there. And then we're also installing a new curb ramp opposite of the existing crosswalk on the Contra Costa Canal Trail. And then we are also installing some sidewalk from that crosswalk to the existing sidewalk that is disjointed. You can kind of see a little snippet there on the bottom right. And so this will give pedestrians access from the trail to the Shadelands Park. And one thing that's really abundant over there, really popular, is the farmers market that's there every weekend. So we will have proper access for people and residents trying to access the trail from the Shadelands and vice versa. And then so in addition to that improvement, we are going to be installing streetlights in conjunction with the project that Andrew has talked about. And then one of those is going to be at that crosswalk there. And then we're also, in conjunction with the Shadelands Multimodal Plan, are going to be installing some Class 4 separated bikeways, which on the bottom image there shows the cross-section of what it would typically look like. And then we would be keeping the majority of the parking on the top end there, and then removing it on the west side. That's just to make room for the bike lanes, and then in addition to that, we will be doing striped curb extensions, painted curb extensions on the intersections at Mitchell and Shadelands, just to help reduce the crossing width for pedestrians, as well as again reduce the travel lane and then get people to cross quicker. And so this is going to be going into construction in about a month. The next one to talk about is the 2024 and 2025 slurry seal project. This project is a part of our annual surface treatment program that we do every year. And so for this year, we're going to be doing 2 types of treatment. We're going to be doing a slurry seal and a cape seal along various roads within the Livorna Estates and Castle Hill neighborhood. neighborhoods. And so part of the two different types of treatments is slurry seal is considered a 1-layer, and Cape seal is considered a 2 layers. So it's a much hardier treatment. And as part of that, it requires us to upgrade all existing curb ramps to ADA compliancy. And so that's what we've done there. Just finished that up last week, where we constructed ADA curb ramps along Lancaster Road and Castle Hill Road in anticipation for the Cape seal that's coming in. One thing to note about the Cape seal is that Lancaster Road was initially slated for this year's Cape seal, but due to some conflicts with utilities, that will be pushed back to next year's slurry seal project. But we still did the curb ramps this year in preparation for that. In addition to the curb ramps, we're also going to be installing or putting in Class 3 sharrows along Castle Hill and Lancaster Road, Lancaster for next year, as part of the grand bike plan that we have at the city. And then as far as 2025, we do not have the roads picked as of yet, but they will be in the Larkey Park, Buena Vista, and Dorado Park neighborhoods. And so we'll start getting started on that as far as selecting the roads for that. And the last project I'm here to talk about today is the Trinity Avenue and Oakland Boulevard Bike Improvement Project. So this project, we are going to be essentially restriping and reconfiguring the existing lanes and striping to include bike lanes on these two roads. And so due to the narrow width of the road and that street parking is at a premium here due to the commercial and residential, we wanted to keep the removal of parking to an absolute minimum, which means we cannot do standard Class 2 bike lanes on both directions. So we chose to have on Trinity have the bike lanes go to the west because that's uphill, and then on Oakland Boulevard have bike lanes go to the north again because it's uphill and harder to bike. And so on the other direction we'll have Class 3s. And then as you can see on the image to the left, we are doing some improvements to the crosswalk or to the intersection there. That intersection is going north, it leads to BART. And so a lot of bicyclists, pedestrians use that. There's a little 9-foot, 8.5-foot wide path on the northern end of that intersection. You kind of see where the green is at a little bit more. And so a lot of people will take that to BART, go from downtown to BART and vice versa. And so we're doing some improvements to that to help guide pedestrians and bicyclists around this intersection, and so they can get to downtown or BART, wherever they're trying to go. And then so we're also going to be implementing some wayfinding here as well to further direct people. And then other than that, we're just upgrading the striping to be more efficient. As you can see on the image on the right, there are existing shark teeth yield striping, which we are moving up to help with visibility, as well as getting them the cars to stop at the proper lengths. And then with that, that's all I have.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Rashad Culver. I'm an assistant engineer, and today I will be providing updates to our unsignalized crossing projects. Starting with the Creekside Drive Crossing Improvements Projects. This one may look familiar. It was presented January 2023 for recommendation, and I'm happy to say we were awarded $80,000 in TDA grant funding. And we will construct this project summer 2024, currently reviewing submittals from our contractor. And this location's on Creekside Drive. It's an extremely dense neighborhood, and we chose this due to the access to the Iron Horse Trail, as well as this route is used for students and parents accessing Merwood Elementary. And as you can see on the top of the image, we are doing a curb extension to shorten the lane width as well as the crossing distance for pedestrians in hopes of increasing pedestrian visibility and lowering vehicular speeds. The next project I'll be discussing is the Shaylands area crossing improvements, which we're bidding this summer. And this project consists of the addition of rapid flashing beacons at the Viamonte Senior Housing Facility, as well as a rapid flashing beacon and striping improvements in front of the School of Performing Arts on Mitchell. And these are in hopes of increasing pedestrian visibility. And as a follow-up to last year's striping improvements, we have our large-scale crossing improvement project, which we'll be bidding this summer. In the image above, we have Mount Diablo Boulevard and Bont across from Ace Hardware. You can see the lane buffer treatments that we are applying throughout the city, as well as signage improvements. And this summer, we will be bringing these improvements to more locations throughout the city, as well as adding rapid flashing beacons to locations which have already received striping improvements. And we'll be implementing these improvements at roughly 13 crossings throughout the city. Locations include Civic Drive, Tice Valley Boulevard, Bancroft Road, North Main Street, and Mount Diablo Boulevard, shown above. And as with all the unsignalized crossing improvements, we aim to lower vehicular speeds and increase pedestrian visibility. And we are taking daylighting into consideration at all these crossings. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Neil Mock. I am the Assistant Engineer with the city. One of the projects I'm going to discuss with you is the Castle Hill Bridge at Tice Creek Strengthening Project. Caltrans is responsible for inspecting the majority of the city's bridges. There are a few that do not meet the Caltrans criteria. So that in 2022, the city hired a structural engineering firm to assess these bridges that had not been inspected by Caltrans. One of them which was the Castle Hill Bridge at Tice Creek, and it was determined that it was structurally deficient, and as a result, an emergency strengthening project is going to commence this summer. That strengthening project is going to be installing steel I-beams at the existing wooden girders, and as a full replacement is planned for future CIP projects. The next project that I'm going to discuss is the South Main Bridge Street Replacement Project. This is one that has been discussed at the commission meetings in the past. It is going to be replaced, the existing bridge is going to be replaced with a 2-span bridge. One of the spans is going to be devoted to pedestrian bridge. It's going to be a 10-foot wide pedestrian bridge that will also function as a utility bridge. During construction of this bridge, the vehicular traffic will be diverted around South Main, and it will be detoured either through California or Broadway. This is expected to commence in the next several years. The design is still being worked on, but thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Uriel Dominguez. I'm an assistant engineer, and I have 3 projects to present to you tonight. The first one being the Oak Grove pedestrian push-button relocation and the biker bar installation. It's pretty much as simple as it sounds. At the Oak Grove location, right behind the orchards, we're going to be relocating the existing pedestrian button further back from the face of curb, as shown at the little air bubble 2. This will hopefully improve pedestrian safety. Additionally, as part of this project, we're going to be installing a bike leaning rail that is designed to give bicyclists a place to rest, a hand and foot to balance while waiting for the crosswalk, as shown in the images below on the left. The next project that I'm working on is the Mount Diablo Base Failure Repair Project. For this project, we will be repairing approximately 10,000 square feet of uneven road that is currently on the Mount Diablo Road, especially on the eastbound lanes downhill intersecting North California Boulevard. This project was recently awarded on the last council meeting, and it's expected to be in construction in September of this year. The last project that I'm here to talk to you about is the Ignacio Valley Road base repair and restriping. We will be performing base repairs on urgently needed locations throughout Ignacio Valley Road from San Carlos Drive to the city limits, the side that intersects Concord. On the image to the right, that is a good image of a urgently needed location that needs to be repaired. Additionally, we will be removing the pavement markers shown in that same image, those circular white markers. We're going to be removing those all throughout from San Carlos to Oak Grove on YVR, and we're going to be restriping to thermoplastic striping as shown on the left. Additionally, as part of this project, we're going to be improving traffic safety and intersection. We're going to be making intersection improvements by reducing lane widths, as well as adding the yellow striping on the median all along YVR as shown on the left, and as well as adding limit lines at the crosswalks throughout YVR. And that is all I have for you today.
All right. So we're scheduled to repave Ignacio Valley Road from Oak Grove Road to the city limits at Concord in 2026. Now, the city was informed of receiving a federal earmark funds from Congressman DeSagnier's office, which will be available for allocation in 2025. In addition to the repaving, the project will include safety improvements, including lane width reductions, an adjustment to the intersection at Oak Grove Road, as you see in the image there on the right. There will also be consideration for reallocating portions of the westbound right turn lane into a queue jump lane for buses. The project will also consider incorporating green infrastructure adjacent to the roadway for treatment of pollutants. The Walnut Boulevard sidewalk at Walnut Heights Elementary. So this project will install a new sidewalk along the north side of Walnut Boulevard from Fraser Drive to Bellows Court, as shown on that diagram on the right. A new bulb out and crosswalk will be included at the Fraser Drive intersection, and a new sidewalk and pathway in front of Walnut Heights Elementary will be included as part of this project. Construction will be funded in part by the federal One Bay Area grant. City staff has been working with the school on the frontage improvements as the school is planning a project on the school property to improve their facilities, including traffic circulation to their pickup and drop-off areas. The school's project is scheduled for 2025 and the city's project is scheduled for 26. The OBAG 3 Safe Routes to School project. So this is a federally funded project to improve traffic and pedestrian infrastructure to promote walking and bicycling to school. This project will include 3 locations: the Broadway-Neo Avenue intersection, Cedro-Ibano intersection, and a sidewalk gap closure on Parkside Drive between Buena Vista and San Juan Avenue. That concludes the presentation, and ready to take questions and comments.
So, wow, thank you all for being here on the staff. I don't think we've ever had more than Brianna and Matt talking over each other previously. Maybe Smadar, answering some of the questions on the side here. So I appreciate so many of you coming and it got a sense of how important, you're taking each of these projects individually. So what we're going to do, I suspect there is public comment on some of this. We're going to do questions from the commissioners. Then we will do public comment. Then we will have commissioners comments and feedback and go that way. We might need to go in order of slides or something, right? Because that was a lot of content at once. Maybe I should have chimed in halfway through. I was debating, but bear with us. This might take a little bit too. Who wants to go? Who's dying to go first?
Well, if we go back to kind of go through the project slides and then
Maybe
we'll
we'll all
questions.
just chime in with
Yeah.
questions slide by slide. I think that's a good
Probably more
suggestion,
efficient.
Yeah.
That was your suggestion, actually. I give you credit for it. While we're going back in slides, is there any member of your staff that wasn't here tonight?
Yes.
Well, yeah, and this is just to clarify, Alex is our senior engineer for CIP. He oversees the stuff that
Right.
is behind him. But yes, he does have some stuff.
We have a person who specializes in buildings, and there's no transportation in
Yeah.
buildings.
Got it. Thank you.
All right. Locust. No.
Are you at the beginning?
Yeah.
All right.
I-
We'll just go.
Yeah, I had no questions on this one.
Your slide mentions pedestrian safety and accessibility. Anything about biking on Lotus?
Let Smadar take that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Locust Street is not designated in any of our plans for bicycling specifically. The way that Locust is really set up, it is more. The intent is it's supposed to be highly pedestrian focused, and so this street is specifically designed for that. So we're very much so emphasizing pedestrian circulation and safety, and the idea is to complement that with bicycle parking so that folks can park their bikes, and then walk from there.
Great. You also mentioned replacing trees that you took out. Is that like a 1-to-1 replacement, or is it going to be less trees overall?
Well, we took out 10 trees, and I believe we're replacing 9 of them.
Okay. Thanks.
How does this merge into the outdoor dining program the city's running to improve on Locust?
Sure. So really the paving piece needs to be completed, and then any restaurants who are interested in putting anything into any of the parking spaces in terms of that side of the outdoor dining program, they'll be able to construct into the parking spaces after we've repaved. But as far as outdoor dining itself, that's already in implementation, and so anything on the sidewalks, all of those business owners have been are either participating in the program or are getting rolled into the program.
Okay. We'll do the next slide, I guess, Alex.
Yeah.
Anything here?
I had nothing on this one, thank you. Did you have anything on the other one?
No.
Okay. Yeah, on this one, no, I don't have any questions till we get to the trail one on Wiget.
Yes. Okay, so this is the one that you marked that for the future would have a 5-foot sidewalk and a bike lane. Yes?
Yeah, that's correct. Both grades separated up on the sidewalk.
Okay. Any plans for trees? Because right now it looks very, very hot.
Not that I'm aware of. That would come later down the road, but that is a good suggestion.
Okay. I mean, it's fine.
You can't see some of the trees.
Well, it looks like there's a lot of trees across the way, but not on where they've just recently done things. So that's why I'm asking.
I think there are a couple of them, though.
All right.
I'd say a component of this project is to put green infrastructure and then all the landscaping in the back, and this project didn't have the funding to put that piece in, so that's something that's in the future.
That actually points to a general question that I had. When you're talking about green infrastructure, are you talking about plants and trees and drainage, or is it like
Yeah,
what is your
specifically drainage, retention, and treatment. Like this would probably be a bioretention facility, which would store the water or equalize the flow going into the storm drain. And then there are typically drought-resistant plants that will take up pollutants and other deleterious things.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Nope. Keep going. I'm trying to limit comments. You don't have to do every slide twice. Questions? Okay. Next.
Thank you.
Okay, this one I had 2 questions. One may sound like a silly question. Is the green going to actually be paint colors on that crosswalk, or is that just to draw our attention in the illustration?
It's going to actually be green, and it's not shown here, but there will be other green bicycle lanes on the intersections at the beginning and the end of the intersections, on the other intersections like Mitchell and Shadelands.
Great. And then the curb extensions there that approach both sides of the crosswalk, is that is it concrete? Is it paint? If it's just paint, am I seeing the little vertical elements?
Yes. So what you see there, that little hatched area, that's all going to be striping. And then we're going to have, you can kind of see in the bottom image, the little posts there. We're going to have that all around that to kind of prohibit vehicles from entering that space.
Great. Thank you.
And those posts are going to be throughout the whole length of the project.
Great. Thank you.
Welcome.
I'm having a hard time picturing this, so sorry if this is a little bit redundant, but how does it connect safely to other roads for bikers?
So so I guess I can use the 2 roads that the bounds are. So for example, on the YVR, we are going to be implementing a sign, and bicyclists are allowed to use the sidewalk over there, so they can go straight from the bike lane onto the sidewalk. Down on that portion, due to the constraints of the road, they're not going to have protected bike lanes at the intersection approach, but so they can just travel from the protected intersection to the shared path on the right turn lane and go directly onto the sidewalk. And then as far as Lennon Lane, we actually in 2022 installed a similar project to this where we had the same sort of improvements, protected bike lanes and curb extensions. And so that will connect it to that.
Okay. And with the rise of like e-bikes and such, are they like motorized? Because they're not vehicles, but they're motorized. Are they going to be able to use the sidewalks as well?
A couple years ago, there was a law that was passed, and the state actually recognizes up to a certain classification of electrified bikes to be able to, they're just considered regular bicycles. So anywhere regular bicycle is allowed to go, that class of e-bike is allowed to go. So generally most people have that class of e-bike. It's not that, it's up to level 2.
Okay. Is that true for scooters too?
Yeah. Yes, except on the trails, if there's a policy that says otherwise, that e-scooters are prohibited, then e-scooters can be used.
Cool. Thanks.
Welcome.
Okay. Next.
Mine's just a definitional question to educate me. What's a sharrow?
Oh, a sharrow is basically, you've probably seen them. They're just the nomenclature for the shared use pavement marking to allow bicyclists to designate that bicyclists can share the road give them a space to share the road with the vehicles, and so it allows vehicles to see those pavement markings and know that bicyclists will also be on that road and to drive accordingly, and so that's the shortened condensed version of shared use pavement marking.
So sort of like I think I picked up it's a combination of sharing and arrows.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Since we're asking about classification, during one of the presentations, they mentioned class 2 and class 3 bike lanes. Just for the general public, can you define those, please.
Sure. Yeah. So class 2 is essentially your typical bike lane that you see with the 4 or 5 foot wide, depending on the area, with the white striping that you see. That's your standard bike lane. Class 3 is a little more open ended, called a bike route, and that is what we see with the Sharrows. We use that, and those the applications are typically because constraints, because we don't have to have a separate 5-foot lane just for that. And then on class 4, which we see on the Wiggett one on the previous slide, is a bike lane with vertical separation from vehicle traffic. And so like on the Wiggett one, we have those vertical separators all throughout the length of the project that separates with a buffer the bicyclists in their lane and the vehicles in their own travel lane.
Great. Thank you for that. Just wanted to make sure that we understand that for the public as well. For the neighborhoods of the 2025, how are those neighborhoods determined? And is there any way to like add a project to those neighborhoods?
So how we determine which roads are going to be selected, we look at the pavement condition of the road, and actually every couple years we have a consultant come in and they do an inspection of our entire road network and rate it, and that rating is pavement condition index. So we'll look at that as well as traffic, if it's high volume area, a collector, residential, or whatever. And then we also, would like to lump all the residentials together. We don't want to have, the contractor mobilizing across the city at different areas. So those are the components we look for. And so as far as your question of adding additional project, do you mean adding like roads onto it that are not within that neighborhood?
I did, yeah.
Okay, yeah, and so that's something we will look at when we get closer. So right now it's all base level analysis. So once we determine what roads we have, we'll look at the quantity of all the material that's used and then compare it to the estimated cost and what our budget is. And so if we have extra budget left over, we may decide to add additional road in around the area to increase our treatment.
I will jump in real quick. So traffic engineering takes advantage of these slurry and Cape Seal projects. We take the opportunity to do our neighborhood streets program. So we do traffic calming implementation with some like temporary materials or signing and striping. So while it is a paving project, we do incorporate safety projects. So maybe to your question of can you add to it? We can add to some extent with temporary traffic calming materials.
Nice to sneak up here. I want to pause for a moment. I want to be respectful because I know what it's like to have little kids. Do you guys just want to jump in with your public comment and we'll come back to questions and stuff? Yeah, let's let you guys come. I assume it's about something on the capital projects here, right? Okay.
Thank you.
You'll have, I have to read something. Hold on. Yeah, I opened. So we have exactly 2 minutes per speaker. So there'll be a timer, and yeah, thanks.
And I'll just add, if you can fill out a comment card, which you can do after you provide the public comment. And I did want to note that the commission did receive a packet of public communications received prior to the meeting, and that is an addendum that's posted with the agenda on the website.
Hi, I'm Kevin. This is my son, Jack. Thank you, everyone, for coming. It's really exciting to see all of the improvements that the city has planned. So we live close to Sierra and San Miguel intersection, and I would just really I have a son who's 3 and my daughter's 1. My son's just starting to learn how to ride a pedal bike, and I just really like them to be able to walk to school when they're older. And just right now with the sidewalks the way they are, that's not really possible because, I mean, in San Miguel, for example, I clocked a car going 44 miles an hour today on the speedometer that's up there. You know, and you got to walk on sections of San Miguel within 3 or 4 feet of the lane. And so I guess what we just like to know is like, what do we need to do to get sidewalks? I understand that like this is not something that's in the budget. It's something that needs to be funded. There's some external funding source. Like, do we need to go talk to state assembly member? Do we need to talk to the city council? Do we need to go talk to Measure X and try to get money that way? Should we try to get like a Mello-Roos financing district for our like neighborhood so that we can like fund sidewalk? Like, I don't know like what the answer is. Like, would it help if we raised like half the money? That's just, I guess, what I'd really sort of looking for help with. I probably talked to 30 neighbors over this weekend. Basically everyone's, you know, the typical response was, you know, anything. Like, what do I need to do to help sort of figure this out? Because I think, you know, there's senior citizens in our neighborhood who would like the ability to walk downtown. There's kids that walk to Las Lomas. And, you know, I think everyone's sort of looking for answers to try to, there's a woman who works downtown, you know, and drives because it's like half a mile drive, you know, because it's just not, she doesn't feel safe walking at night. Just what we need to do to sort of get sidewalks in our neighborhood, we'd really sort of appreciate some help and some answers there. Thank you very much.
So we're limited in our ability on the agenda under law to fully comment, but what I would do is I'm going to ask staff if they can capture your email. We'll follow up. There is a process to go through to do that.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Awesome. Should I just finish?
One more, I think.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy.
Go ahead.
You don't want to be on TV?
I think you are.
Yeah.
They're so excited. They're on TV.
Hi, I'm Kate, and I was excited to see all of the stuff going on here. That was exciting. I have some comments on that, but my main reason I'm here is I live at the intersection of San Miguel and Sierra, and it's horrible. There is currently debris all over from a recent accident. There's been 4 accidents at that intersection since I've lived there, and I've lived there about 2 years. I know this because people come to my door because they have cars that are totaled and are telling me, oh, I'm sorry, I have to leave my car here for a little while. Anyway, it's very dangerous, and I've talked to some of you, and yeah, I'm with Kevin. I would like to know how we improve this. And I've been talking with neighbors too, and I've been collecting signatures and emails and information from other people in the neighborhood that are also concerned. And there are a lot of people, not just on San Miguel or Holcomb or Sierra, people that live further up that walk down that area. There's students that walk. It's walked on a lot. It's a highly walkable area, except for the fact that it's actually super dangerous because of the speeds that cars go, but the lack of sidewalks. And I've gone and I've talked to people, and there are 2 houses that if we put a sidewalk in front of those 2 houses, there would be a continuous sidewalk all the way down. However, those folks are not into that. And part of it is because their understanding is that in order to get a sidewalk there, they have to take 15 feet of their yard. And that's because currently the road is designated to be a 4-laned road. So in the future, I guess Walnut Creek's vision is to have a 4-lane road there, and in order to do that, you'd have to take their yard. However, if you designate it as a 2-lane road, there's actually enough space there to put in a sidewalk, which you would put in the 4-foot sidewalk, 2 12-foot lanes, and another 4-foot sidewalk. I've actually measured it, so it's doable. So can we do that? How do we facilitate that? How do we work with the people living there? How do we get the funding? So people are interested. How do we do this? Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I did have one more comment. And that was about one of the, I'm super stoked that they're trying to make it easier to get from BART to downtown or anywhere, and has have you guys actually worked with BART? Because I know BART is actually doing studies about bikeability around the station. Just curious if you guys have actually talked to BART. Anyway, that was my no amount of time.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm going to, we'll direct staff to follow up with you and maybe provide feedback as a future agenda item for just roads that might be designated to be wider too in the future. But thanks for being here. Do we want to, we're just going to continue with public comment on this and then we'll get into the rest of our questions. Are there other members of the public who want to comment on capital projects? Okay, great. Okay, well, that just changes everything then. And okay, so I'll go in with a question. I think I lost track of where I wrote it down anyway. Is you guys talked about ADA compliance on curves, I think, which relates to the sidewalks, right? So you can, ADA compliance to me on a curve is so you can get up onto the sidewalk at an intersection. How is that chosen? I know there's a lot of areas that were long before we had ADA, and just how do you figure out where we're going next?
Sure. So in reference to this project and the ADA improvements we did, so whenever we do a Cape Seal, that's what triggers the ADA improvements. So on the streets that we only did a slurry seal, we did not need to do, or we did not do the concrete curb ramps. And so on Lancaster Road and Castle Hill, where we are going to be caping all those, and there's existing sidewalk infrastructure, that means we need to go in and install the new curb ramps there. And so that's how those are selected. So it's based off of what sort of treatment we do on the roads, if we do a Cape Seal versus a slurry seal. And so since we did a Cape Seal on Lancaster and Castle Hill, we are required to do the curb ramps there, and that's where we did them.
Okay, so I just want to make sure I got that right. Cape Seal, you do them. Slurry Seal, you don't add them.
For the most part, correct, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, I guess the next slide. So you can go in.
I'm sorry, no questions or comments on this slide, sorry.
Okay.
Oh, actually.
Oh, too late. Nope. Sorry.
Yeah, denied. On the image on the right, the Trinity Ave, is that a Sharrow?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
thank you.
Yes, that is a Sharrow, and typically a lot of times we have in Sharrow is we have the green on the background just to make it more visible. So you can also see them without the green, but we wanted to put green here again. It's a high traffic area, get it more visible.
Awesome. I am duly educated now.
Happy to help.
And since there is a moment for comment, Smadar has heard this from me before, but on Oakland Boulevard and where you turn in from Ignacio, it's this same public, it's that shared and raised pedestrian and bike trail, and 3 times in the last year I take that road almost every day. There has been cars that have come up, and so we just need to distinguish on the front when you turn in there. Like, it's just the way you view it with the BART tracks above you and the lighting that you just can't see that it's like not the road. But somebody's going to get killed that way. So I'm just calling that out as attention there.
Okay, thank you. All right, thank you.
Next slide.
I did have a question, because this is the first one that actually had dollars. It talked about being awarded $80,000 in grant funding. Is it fair that I correlate that to the cost of this project, 80,000, or nowhere near?
That is the majority of the project cost, actually. Yes.
Okay, great. So then.
Wait a second. No, okay, go ahead.
So then that just led me to ask, because it'll help me understand kind of a little bit about what we get for the $80,000 at today's costs. So like the curb extension area, concrete curb extension, paint, other, what is it?
That is concrete curb. So there's a hatch pattern that denotes the concrete, and there are 3 parallel lines that denote the curb line as well as the gutter line, and we show new storm drain inlets for drainage.
Okay, yeah, so that makes sense then, because that's a lot of work.
Yes.
Thank you.
I just want to say congratulations on getting the grant. That's great.
Thanks for the recommendation.
Next slide then. Questions, comments?
The rapid flashing beacons, are those the ones that I typically see elevated on the signs? Or is it something else?
They're the signs that they're similar to what's shown in the photo. However, there's a candy bar lighting element under it, which is actuated by a push button. And once the pedestrian presses the button, the sign lights up, and it allows enough time for the pedestrian to cross with illumination.
Got it. Do we ever, and what would trigger us to go, I call them the taxiway lights, like at an airport, we have on, I think it's Mount Diablo by the Nordstrom. There used to be lights in the ground flashing. Do we ever do anything like that anymore?
Yeah, so those are called in roadway lights. Those sort of preceded what we call these rapid flashing beacons. And they're actually just really difficult to maintain. Heavy trucks, once they start getting at them, they start to break. And so we used to have them, and then we pulled them out. And it's pretty standard practice in California now to use the rapid rectangular flashing beacons instead.
Okay, thank you.
I'll just comment, because now I'm commenting on a previous slide, but since this is nearby, on the entrance from the canal trail on the bike path there. I've taken that, and that is so improved to what it was a year or 2 years ago, and like awesome work, and you guys should be proud of that one, because I know other people who take that trail and head in that way, and all the people who go to Calicraft also. I mean, I'm sure there's kids at the sports mall, but definitely I've seen people on Calicraft there.
Yeah, that was actually my project a few years ago, improving the trail between the roadway, improving the patch of pavement between the trail and the roadway.
Yeah, so awesome there. All right. Next slide, I guess.
No comments or questions on this?
Is there a place that the public can find out what all of these 13 crossings are?
As we get closer to construction, these locations will be listed on the roadway impacts page on our city website.
Okay. But it's not available now.
Not at the moment.
Okay. Thanks.
I know this is in front of the Ace on Mount Diablo, and I've crossed this intersection also almost every day in the last year, and I noticed that it was just partly because it was so wide, but there are times where you couldn't see pedestrians, and this really brought awareness and slowed cars down. So I'm just complimenting this. I've seen how this helps people, and I can't imagine that people weren't hit here before. So I'm grateful to see this, and I'm looking forward to seeing all 13. So just great work.
Thank you. And this location will get a rapid flashing beacon as well.
All right, next one.
Nothing on this one, just other than the fascination that the original structure was wood.
surprise to us as well.
Well, I was kind of curious to know when the original structure was built.
I don't actually recall. I think we have actually as built, so we could probably dig them out if you're.
I would just be curious if it's not like too much trouble. Like, yeah. And I guess is it the next? I don't know what's on the next slide or not now, but if on the next slide when you're talking about replacing the bridge or even during the strengthening, are you guys closing those roads or?
No, this one the only way in and out of the neighborhood is this one bridge. So closing it is not an option. During the strengthening project, we are allowing the contractor to do a 10-minute intermittent closure just as a flagman, but they're not going to be able to close it fully.
And are they going to be able to notify people like, hey, this closure is going to happen between 10 and 12?
We sent out a mailer already to the neighborhood that's going to be impacted, and it's going to be essentially during normal construction hours, which are 7 to 5. But no, we can't tell them it's going to be closed between 12 and 12:30 because when they're installing the steel I-beams, they're going to actually have no traffic on the bridge when they engage the road deck. So it's going to be continuous through the 15 days of construction.
I would just encourage it. Maybe if they could drop that window of the closure from like 8 to from 8:30 to 3:30, just because you're going to have a lot less cars anyway, and people can plan maybe around that.
Well,
I know that's not always possible, but at least I'm suggesting it.
And the maximum closure time will be 10 minutes.
Yeah.
So they're not going to wait more than 10 minutes at any given time. The contractor needs time to install the I-beams and actually with no cars on the bridge.
Fair enough.
You don't want it deflecting while they try and put in straight steel.
Yes. And they're actually wedging it with wooden wedges, so it has good engagement with the existing road deck.
Makes sense.
Thanks.
So my one question on this, because obviously traffic's going to be stopped because there'll be no bridge. Realistically, how long does it take to replace a bridge like this?
Well, that's the goal, is to do it in one season. And that's why instead of trying to do it in 2 parts and divert traffic over and build the new bridge when cars are on the old bridge, it'll be ideally one season.
Or when you say one season, so 3 months?
Probably closer to 12.
Oh, so a year.
Yeah, a year. Yeah, like one rainy season.
I was thinking, summer, fall.
No, we don't have a schedule yet at this point.
Yeah.
We don't know exactly how long it's going to be, but.
So this one's going to be a much bigger deal.
This one will be a much bigger deal.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's part of the reason why we're doing the pedestrian bridge, is to be able to at least keep pedestrian access open. So then pedestrian can go through and then, the cars will figure it out.
You can't speed it up with binge watching, I guess, that season.
I would just stay away from that area. Thank you.
So we don't have a timetable yet, but we're going to be closing that for a year. And what is the impact on the whole downtown and traffic? I don't even know how you think about that, so I'm just kind of curious.
Sure. So as part of the environmental analysis, this actually came to the commission a few years ago, and I don't know if you were on it, but for the benefit of everyone else, so traffic analysis was conducted, and it analyzes the detour that the traffic would need to take through the downtown to access their destinations, assuming a full closure. So there will be a detour, and yes, it will be different, and yes, it's going to be a different congestion scenario, but it's not, there weren't any significant impacts found in the analysis. So.
I'm trying to understand where this is exactly. Is this going to require the road in front of Macy's and Nordstrom's to be opened again for the detour? Is that what I'm seeing in this map?
Yeah, to be determined.
It's TBD. That's not required by any means. We do, as Neil had mentioned previously, ideally the traffic is supposed to be diverted along Broadway itself
Okay.
and on California. So if you're on Broadway, then you still have access to the mall if you need to via the big Macy's parking garage off of Newell. And then otherwise you can make your way around via Botello into the smaller parking garage along South Main. So there are other ways around it, and we'll make adjustments to signal timing accordingly as well. But it doesn't require any kind of opening. It just depends on the needs of the shopping center and other, potentially just other needs.
Okay. And no, that's fine. Okay.
Okay, next one.
No questions or comments?
I love the bike lane. I'm so excited about it. Just wanted to say that's really cool.
Yeah, I think this came up at a public comment previously, so I appreciate staff responding to that. And I know this intersection well, and I actually really appreciate going back from the street that was a little too close to Oak Grove and cars that sometimes don't always realize there's even a red light there sometimes. So, yeah, I really appreciate this one.
No questions or comments on that.
Okay, next.
All right, I did have a question or comment on this one. Because I think there's a subsequent slide too that I'll speak to as well. It's really funny when I saw this reading the materials, because we were just driving up towards Clayton, and my wife and I said to each other, wow, there's a lot of turbulence going up here. And then you hit the Concord city limit and you see the new pavement. And I was like, Lisa's like, well, you're on the Transportation Commission. Why don't you call them up? So I'm very happy to see that you're going to be working on Ignacio, especially from Oak Grove up to the city limit. I think that's definitely long overdue. On the San Carlos to Oak Grove, where you have San Carlos to city limits, you talked in here, striping improvements, including reducing lane width and intersection improvements. Where would we be reducing lane width?
That would be starting at from San Carlos to Oak Grove. The left lanes will be reduced, as well as the right lane.
So the YVR lane.
Yes, the YVR stretching from San
Just
Carlos.
the left lane or all of them?
All of them are technically being reduced.
Okay, and is that, I'm sure you guys have already looked at this, but I'll ask the dumb question. I mean, from a safety perspective, it's pretty tight as it is already driving there. As I'm a regular user of YVR because I live out in the other end, Walnut Creek.
I'll let you answer that.
Yeah, so there is a pinch point as you approach San Carlos going eastbound right before you get to Heather Farm Park, but after that it actually opens up quite a bit. And we have higher posted speed limits, and we are trying to bring down speeding along Ignacio Valley Road. It was identified in our local roadway safety plan as one of our high injury corridors, and speeding is the number one main concern. Narrowing lanes does reduce speeds, and so that's what we're trying to tackle with this.
Okay. Makes sense. It'll be interesting to see. This has become a de facto freeway, unfortunately.
I don't
Sure,
think.
and I wanted to add just a quick clarification is that this cross section that will continue is pretty much exactly what we have on the portion that was just recently done between California and Civic and San Carlos.
Okay. Yeah, I tend to get off Ignacio as quickly as I can. I'd rather drive 20 miles an hour in the neighborhood street than deal with Ignacio.
So will the speed limit on the second half so the first half it's 40 and the second half is 45. Is that speed limit going to change as part of this?
Inviting Brianna up.
So speed limits are set using existing or current conditions. So we would first need to do the lane narrowing and then perform that engineering and traffic survey is what it's called. And it takes into account prevailing speeds and what the free flow of vehicles are doing. There's been some recent changes to how speed limits are set, so we can apply those and potentially further reduce them, but the improvement would have to go in first before we can post it for lower.
Awesome, thanks.
So you said the left lane, is that because the reduced lane width is being done with the yellow stripe?
Yes. So in general, all the lanes are being reduced, but
Right.
we start, reducing the lanes from the left lane because of the median. So all lanes are being reduced. The right lane is going to be the widest one for trucks and stuff like that.
Okay.
But the most two left lanes are going to be those are going to be noticeably reduced.
Great, thanks.
Can I ask another question? Would we ever consider a large trucks and big rigs only allowed in the right lane? Is that something that's even legal for a municipality to consider?
We can research that and get back to you. But I'll note that this is a route of regional significance. So from a countywide perspective, we have to comply with our congestion management agency, and I'm not sure what their feelings on that would be. Maybe
Yeah.
they'd be okay with that. So
Well, I
we
thought
can
about
research
it.
it.
I'd appreciate that because I thought about it, and when you get 2 or 3 gravel trucks coming down from the quarry, and they're all in interesting proximity to each other, a lot of times there's one in each lane, and then people do crazy things to try and get past the trucks, and so that's actually always been a dream of mine. And I think on freeways the trucks are technically supposed to be in the number 3 and 4 lanes only, right? Or has that changed? Not that they obey it.
As far as my understanding, yeah, they're in the two outermost lanes,
Yeah.
whether 3, 4, or 5, 6, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
I'll just contend to say I don't really think there's a ton of speeding on Ignacio Valley Road because it is painfully sometimes slow to get down. Case in point, don't make fun of me. Coming back from Santa Cruz, and got off on Rug Gear going to Ignacio and Oak Grove, and it took an hour and 20 minutes starting at 3:45 on a Tuesday. That is a long time. There was no accident. It was just every traffic light and a lot of cars on the road. Just thought I'd share that. That's painful. That was painful. Sorry. Okay, next.
I think I already shared my comments on this. Thanks.
Yeah, I think next. We covered. I think we.
No questions or comments on this one.
Okay, next.
And no questions or comments on this one. Oh, actually, I'm sorry. I did have one. I know. I'm just so wishy-washy of a commissioner. When you talk about a sidewalk gap closure, can you just define for me the sidewalk gap?
Yes. So like on Parkside Drive here, there's sidewalk on the, I guess that would be the east side. And then in between that section, there's no sidewalk. And then a couple
Got it.
houses down, there's sidewalk. So this would install sidewalk in between the gap.
Thank you. Sorry I asked the dumb questions.
It's all good.
So
Okay, next one.
that was it.
That was it. Do we need to go back to the beginning for comments? All right. Can we go back to the beginning one for, let's just see if we had other comments. But we'll try to go quick. Awesome. Okay, anything here?
No.
Okay, next.
Nope.
Next. My comment on this one is I used to drop a daughter off at Valley Verde Elementary School coming from the Woodlands neighborhood and going to the Shadelands Art Center where there's a city preschool, and we were those people who had to walk on the street. And so I'm very grateful for this being completed, and it just made logical sense. So, and I know there's a lot of other kids who ride bikes to like the art center, which is to the right of this picture here, has a lot of after school programs and stuff. And so this was well needed.
No comment. No comments on this one.
I just wanted to say thank you for thinking of the accessible path. I've experienced, not in Walnut Creek, but in Contra Costa County, quite a few where signs and telephone poles and streetlights make it impossible to use a wheelchair on our sidewalks. So it's like, what is the point of having the curb cutouts if people actually can't use it when they need it? So great job there.
Okay, next one.
No comments.
Nope. Okay. I think we back to...
Yeah, I think we're caught up.
Okay, anything else, guys?
No, sir.
Okay, anything else on your side? Awesome. Can we make a motion that Alex has to buy everybody a beer for working late tonight? Nope, sorry. I don't think that's allowed. Wait.
I'll second that motion.
I know this is public record. Okay, let me flip back to the agenda here. Thank you guys all for being here tonight. We really appreciate it. We're at the end. Yeah. Anybody have announcements? Commissioner comments?
Yeah, I'll just note that I did direct one resident from the Woodlands who was inquiring on Nextdoor how to petition for traffic calming. I did send them to our commission secretary and the duty traffic email.
I have been contacted by a couple of organizations who are interested in doing something for Transit Month in September. Nothing definite there yet, but like just wanted to throw that out and put that on people's brain wave that it would be great to if we did something in September. And then I'm going to share a celebration for me, which was that I found where the bike racks are, because the bike rack that I used at City Hall was taken out, and I didn't know where to park my bike for a while. So they are actually, they're available. I think they're just hard to find. So that's my notes.
Okay. I was just going to say congratulations to our favorite secretary on her new roles and responsibilities. Are you going to stay our secretary? Not after that comment, Jared.
I don't know.
Okay. And then I was actually going to ask, for Brianna or Smadar, if you could give an update on that Woodlands meeting and what were some just staff thoughts on it. I know we asked about attendance, but.
Yeah, quick update as we are still processing the information, but it went really, really well. Like I said, we had maybe around 60 attendees. Everyone was really positive and open ears and shared their suggestions and heard what staff had to say.
So no official outcomes or thoughts more concretely yet?
Yeah, so the way that we're incorporating this neighborhood into it's called the Neighborhood Streets Program. And so really the first step is this type of workshop community engagement component. We're going to take the feedback that we heard, where where are there speeding issues? Where are there, compliance issues? Do they like this type of traffic material or this type? So we take all of that feedback and essentially come back to the neighborhood with, let's try this type of traffic calming, and we do a pop-up demonstration. So this is where staff is out there in the field for a couple hours demonstrating what a neighborhood traffic circle could look like, something like that. And so it takes what we've heard from them, demonstrates it, we can get another round of feedback, and then we come back again with a plan for the whole neighborhood. Oh, yeah. And so one of the things we've talked to you guys about regularly is our Safe Routes to School kind of program and study that we did a couple years ago. We are kind of taking the feedback that we heard from that same meeting. We kind of adopted or made slight modifications to plans that we've had kind of working for a while, and we're working with our maintenance crew to install some traffic calming at the Dogwood and Citrus intersection, and then as well as on Peach Willow along the school frontage. Just reached out to the principal today, hoping to get in contact with her as well to see kind of about another thing over there as well.
Principals won't respond for another week to 2 weeks, but yes, I appreciate you doing that. Is there a timeline on those projects?
So the projects that staff that we're doing in-house before the beginning of the school year, which we have as August 8th, our maintenance guys know, and I just talked to them this morning, and they're working on acquiring materials if they don't have them already. As for the pop-up demonstration, this neighborhood has the school, so we want the school traffic to normalize before we go out there. So likely September, October.
Awesome. And I had a couple of people commented to me yesterday. Because the Woodlands neighborhood had an RSM swim meet, so this is how the city works. And so they were all on San Carlos Drive, where you guys have, I don't even know what you call that, but how you sort of redirected to narrow that lane. And there was at least 6 people who asked me if that could be done on Citrus and Peach Willow as projects. So I'm just throwing that out there because literally 6 people last night asked me that. So thank you for doing that public meeting. Thank you for doing that, and I appreciate getting those updates. So does staff have any updates or reports? Nope. Okay. Then I hereby adjourn the July 18th regular meeting, the transportation meeting. Our next regular meeting is September 19th, 2024. It is 7:48 p.m. Thank you.